Funhouse active, king of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the fast lit, yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down, I keep it on it, they crunching the numbers, I'm bringing out, young nigga got a fetish for success, if I ain't next and I just leave impression, next to rain on the window pane, puffy plain Jane, let them second guess me, wanna cop the Porsche with the porcelain skin, grip the wheels, let the horses why they trash another chore on my list? Out of this orbit, I soar with the pen. I'm eating good, Miss Caloric as shit. I sipped the potion and poured it in. I on the tide when she poured it. Opportunity, knock at the door, then I grin. They rush for the doors, then they open like bliss. Pin stroke, game cold as the fridge. Sound wave for like more than the clicks. Cowabunga, surf the world for my shit. Ayy, wait. Been gritty, don't pity, they full thing with me, been real, fuck trending, I'm hype, I'm litty, been this since scrimmage, don't play game with me, I volley these hits like I play tennis, I drink this shit, now I live it, don't pity, I live here at the top of the titty, said I run this shit, how I jot it with the pistol, while they flop with the vision, jaw drop when I spit it off top, little bitch, me these 7 figures catch the fade when they jit me, bet I count it down to the penny wave, ay, heavy is all on my mind, I gotta make that edit, wait, bet I might spark that wildfire, rebel when I breach, funhouse active, king of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the flashlight, yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down, I keep it on it, they crunching the numbers, I'm bringing out, funhouse active, king of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the flashlight, yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down, I keep it on it, they crunching the numbers, I'm bringing out, I just like crashing, really I'm passing. Running from the madness, you catch me, I just want passion, love attraction, let me do that shit, I just like crashing, really I'm passing, running from the madness, you catch me, I just want passion, love attraction, let me do that shit. Charge on its last light, same clothes I'm from last night, still lit like it's last night, young living in the fast life, young. Smoke cloud from the ash pipe, catch air from the half pipe. I need a centerfold from the shows with the mansion, chandelier dancing, counting a Branson, yeah. Been had hella Franks, man, it's ballpark figures. Might be in the field, but I came from the trenches. You can tell it's my time, look at that it's quick. I do like the charm on my wrist, let me flip. Want me pay the way, I'm the wave, I'm authentic. Sitting courtside, got a spray, nigga, I run the gang for the gang. Nothing but a thing when I sing, young Usain, I sprinting, getting fresh prints, counting a blessing on blessing on blessing. They call me the reverend, y'all nigga play too much. I've been so gone off the braces, I end my hiatus by sparking that flame. Shit, y'all niggas stay in your lane, young entertain. I'm next to rain, the fuck is you saying? Out of my brain, not from this planet. Hide from the cameras, high up the energy sent to me. From the enemy, that's the advantage. By doing the damage, accounting advances, I buy you my nemesis. This is my genesis, I never had privilege. They took our innocence, but fuck that, I'm young and I'm wild, going ignorant like funhouse active, king of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the flashlight, yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down, I keep it on it, they crunching the numbers, I'm bringing out, funhouse active, king of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the flashlight, yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down, I keep it on it, they crunching the numbers, I'm bringing out, funhouse active. Funhouse active, king of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the flashlight, yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down, I keep it on it, they crunching the numbers, I'm bringing out, young nigga got a fetish for success, if I ain't next and I just leave impression, next to rain on the window pane, puffy plain Jane, let them second guess me, wanna cop the Porsche with the porcelain skin, grip the wheels, let the horses why they trash another chore on my list, out of this orbit, I soar with the pen, I'm eating good, Miss Caloric as shit, I sipped the potion and poured it in, I on the tide when she poured it, opportunity, knock at the door, then I grin, they rush for the doors, then they open like bliss, pin
And cut.
Long.
Welcome everybody to Bad Booking, season 2. We started off the year before last, and we kind of continued in. We took a long break, but this is the start of consistency. Look to catch us every Sunday night around 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. If we are not on at 9:30 on Sunday nights, then we will be on Saturday nights. It is interchanging. We will let you know ahead of time if we elect to do a Saturday night show. But this is it, man. Me and the one and only Mark, Pro Wrestling Kingpin. Mark, how have you been, sir?
I've been great, man. Watching your Chiefs win today, so congratulations. But pretty
Man,
awesome, pretty chill day, But I've been really good. Went to a few events over the past few months. Survivor Series Chicago. We'll get into that a little bit. But yeah, how you doing?
pretty good. As good as I can be. Of course, the Chiefs win the divisional game against the Buffalo Bills. And it's crazy because it just feels like the Buffalo Bills and the Chiefs are just, glued at the hip that they are going to face each other every divisional or conference championship game. And I'm okay with that because when the Bills and the Chiefs square up, Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes has the Buffalo Bills number. So I'm on cloud 9 right now, man. I couldn't wait till the game was over. When he missed that field goal, I was like, man, now I'm going to go do Bad Booking. It's good to be doing this again with you. Yeah, man, we've got a bunch of stuff to get into. Appreciate everybody coming into the chat and showing love. Steven Chambers, Jake, DM221 says, howdy guys. Today is Hunter Dillon's birthday. Appreciate Hunter Dillon making the time, and good happy birthday to Hunter Dillon. Hunter, if you don't mind, put your age in the chat for us. Chase, if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, I don't want you to say another bad word about Taylor Swift ever again. I love Taylor Swift. Love her. It's dope. It's the coolest stuff in the world. So, let's get into some wrestling. Mark, I want you to talk to me and tell me, what have you been up to the past few months? Didn't we do a sporadic show in November around War Games?
I think before it, we didn't do anything after. Like I said, I've just been going through to wrestling shows here and there when they've been in Chicago. I mean, that week of Thanksgiving was pretty crazy. All the promotions were here. But I did catch Survivor Series. I caught CM Punk's return for the second time. I was there for the original one with AEW, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, man, that's what I've been doing. I got a lot of things in the works as well. We'll get into that much later. Right now, let's just focus on the Bad Booking. What have you been up to?
Same, man. I don't know. I don't know if you and I have kind of talked about this on the show. I'm starting my own little venture here in Kansas City. Tickets are already on sale. I am beyond ecstatic. I can't just put it into words. I wish it was March already, but I kind of don't wish it was March because I'm nervous. I'm trying to make sure everything is intact. My biggest fear is to come game day, and I've spent all this money to put on this great show, and only 50 people show up. Luckily, that's not going to happen because I've already sold over 50 tickets. But it's like I said, it's just one of those things where in the back of my mind, I'm like, but I'm super excited for it to get here. It's just been crazy. Starting my own business, landscaping business, starting my own wrestling promotion, and then doing all that stuff. Took a break from the content creation to clear my head, figure out what I wanted to do. I feel like this new start for Bad Booking for you and me is a good way for me to get a good start in 2024 back on the content creation thing, kind of get back into the mix of it. So super duper excited to talk wrestling with you and to get back into this. So the idea of this show, guys, has always been that we would talk about the mainstream things in wrestling. We're not going to break down each show. That's not what the show is about. This show is just to kind of talk about the main stories, the main news, and just kind of give our takes on it. Chat with you guys. That's why we have the side chat here. Unfortunately, it can't be on the screen, but that's okay. As your guys' comments come in pertaining to the subjects that we're talking about, I will be more than happy to put them in and get you guys involved with the conversation. That is what the idea of this show is. Speaking of that, I know on my side, we are currently live on my YouTube and my Twitch. Mark, I see you you attached a couple. Tell everybody where we're live on for you.
We are live on also YouTube and Twitch, Pro Wrestling Kingpin on both, and all social media acts. If you guys ever want to come and give me a follow, show your support. But that's where we're currently live on right now is YouTube and the Twitch.
Absolutely. But before we get into that, man, I want to got a couple of comments here from Hunter Dillon. I hope it's a huge success. Already a few names I'd love to see show up. Looking forward to you and Josh starting up your guys' new pro wrestling company. Appreciate you guys. Anthony Graves, we are doing fantastic. Appreciate you joining, Anthony. But one of the things I wanted to kind of like throw at you, and I know you and I have kind of talked about it in the past, but man, I would love to do some type of I've got a guy here in Kansas City named Circumstances. It's like SUR, like Sir Circumstances. And he does a lot of comic book like streams where they talk about comic books and they mix in a little bit of the MCU. I'd love to do that, man. We should talk about doing something like that.
We could,
especially
yeah,
like with all the stuff that's going on. Just finished Echo. I watch everything MCU. I would just love to do a show where I could just sit down for an hour or 3 and just shoot the shit with somebody about that. So
we could. I mean, that's where the origin of this name is right there. I'm definitely a big Marvel fan right there. So
I know, man. Yeah. I don't think there's anybody they could have picked to play a better Kingpin.
Kingpin,
than Vincent D'Onofrio, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it. Speaking of, somebody had mentioned in the chat, and I might have missed it already. Oh no, it is. You know, Mr. Chase, Royal Rumble is this coming Saturday.
It is.
And that is our hot topic of to start us off in this new episode of Bad Booking, Mark. The Rumble is next week. So I figured you and I would start off. Kind of tell me about how you feel about going into the Rumble. And then once you're done talking about it, I'll chime in a little bit and then we'll start giving some predictions, man.
All right, cool. Well, I could tell you right now, it is an exciting time personally for me to be watching WWE because for a long time I just shitted on the product. This is probably the most stacked roster that WWE has had in quite a long time. So me going into the Royal Rumble, it's not so obvious anymore. You know, everyone was pretty much guaranteeing Cody's going to run it back, and it's going to be Cody and Roman Reigns again, which I've been saying to Chase, but he keeps yelling at me for years. But it's not obvious that Cody's going to win to me. There's many people. CM Punk has returned. You know, Cody Rhodes is obviously what they're saying. What's Damian Priest going to do with his briefcase? There's so many different scenarios now where it's Royal Rumble is actually truly exciting, and it's not just because who's going to come make an appearance. It's who's actually going to win because it's not all that guaranteed anymore, in my opinion, and that's what's most exciting about. How do you feel about it?
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
And we will kind of get more into this, but my morale on WWE right now is at an all-time high.
Yep.
The highest it's been in years. Now, granted, it's still WWE, and I get that, but the roster, the talent, the shows, what they've done, both entertainment wise and putting on the matches wise, has just, it's an all around well-rounded product. And, which is awesome to say, man, because, It, I I do feel a little bit that it has to do with there being more than one company, not so much, just because I still think that WWE doesn't does but doesn't. You know what I mean? They do look
No,
at it. They
they,
do
they,
look at it, but they don't. You know what I
they,
mean?
they do, man. They do
Yeah.
100%. And honestly, I'm not trying to jump the gun here, but wrestling fans need AEW. And even though AEW has been shitty, we'll get into it later. Wrestling fans need AEW and they need TNA to thrive because that's the reason why WWE is such, like Chase just said, is at an all-time high. Because they won't come out and say, "Hey, AEW is a legitimate threat," but AEW is a threat in a sense to make them up what they're doing right now and making the product more watchable. Because there's a time where Chase and I didn't even watch it; we would watch highlights, be like, "Oh, this is what happened in WWE." It is because of those other companies,
Yep.
mainly AEW. Whether you like it or not, whether you like AEW or not, how much you hate it, like the downward trajectory that's going on right now, what we're getting in WWE is because of AEW.
Yes. Yes. Let's start with those two right now. Punk for the men and Bailey for the women's to win the Rumble is what Steven Chambers says. Who you got for the men and the women's Rumble, Mark?
Oh, that's a good question. Like I said, I mean, Cody Rhodes, Punk, even Drew McIntyre, those are all viable guys that could win, right away. Once again, not to jump the gun, but what's going to happen with Seth Rollins? This could change things. As of right now, assuming everyone stays healthy and the path continues how it's supposed to be, um, I think it might be CM Punk, and he would go on to challenge Seth Rollins for the men's side. Um, women's. I go back with Bailey, but I just don't think that will happen. I think Bailey's on the outs with Damage Control, and I think that story continues within the Royal Rumble. So I think Bailey will be within the top, or I'm sorry, the final in that women's Royal Rumble. But I think Damage Control does something where it ruins her chance at winning at some point, and that would start the Io Sky and Bailey type of feud type deal. And I think they do eventually meet at WrestleMania, but not due to her winning the Royal Rumble. I think it's Becky Lynch, and I think we get Becky versus Mommy at WrestleMania.
Okay. Okay. Um, Jake says he's got Punk for the men and Jade Cargill for the women.
Oh, that would be amazing, but I don't know if I could agree with that women one, to be honest.
Have Bailey winning the Rumble, setting up Bailey versus Io for Mania. So that seems to be like the idea is Bailey winning and doing Mania. And sometimes I feel like when that is the most obvious, that is when WWE decides like, oh, hey, we're gonna do something different.
Plus,
Um,
with that story within Damage Control right now, you could have that main event without the Royal Rumble, her winning the
yep,
Royal Rumble. That story is already writing itself. Like
yep.
they're already gonna, what am I say, excommunicate or exile her pretty soon. I mean, you could all see it, so you could still get that story no matter what at WrestleMania.
You could. However, here's my issue. Here's why I like Bailey winning better than I do Becky. And Bailey is my pick as well. Because Becky's not beating Rhea. Rhea's momentum hasn't slowed down at all.
Nope.
So I feel like they're not like if they have somebody win the Royal Rumble and challenge, I feel like it's just automatically one of those things where it's like, yeah, she's not winning. To whereas Bailey, it adds if Bailey turns face, if Bailey wins a Rumble and they redo the Batista Evolution storyline and Bailey turns face, could we see some inflatable buddies
I hope
at
so.
WrestleMania in Philly this year?
I missed the hugger.
Because dude, I'll be honest with you, man. You know, if Bailey wins, that's what I would be looking forward to is to seeing Bailey turn babyface again and pulling out some inflatable buddies.
Punk.
Um,
I'm taking notes for our draft game. So you said Punk and Bailey, correct?
yes.
That's your pick. All right. Yeah, I mean, I could see that, and I don't disagree with it. I mean, it could go either way. But the thing is, just to combat like, oh, I don't see Becky beating Rhea. I mean, just because you win the Royal Rumble doesn't mean you're gonna win the title.
Yes,
I mean,
that that's
Shinsuke
true.
Nakamura. I mean, like
Yep.
that doesn't
It
matter,
has
you know.
it has happened. And I was I'll let you know I'm a huge fan, or I'm not a huge fan of that. I never have been. I think it's okay to happen every blue moon, but for it to happen in a for it to happen, in an occurrence like it happened to Cody last year, let's not do it again this year. I think Money in the Bank winners and Royal Rumble winners should win most of the time.
Right.
And when I say most, I mean like 90, 95% of the time.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, I could agree with you on that one. I don't want to keep jumping the gun. We'll get into that, I guess. So
Um,
I seen a couple things when it comes to the Royal Rumble, specifically the men's. So to jump a little bit, Seth Rollins, right? What are the chances this Royal Rumble turns into the Royal Rumble for his championship?
so they're saying, I mean, I haven't read too much into it. I've been very like anti dirt sheets,
Right. Yeah, for
if you
sure. For
will.
sure.
I just watch the product and enjoy it and kind of give my opinions on it. Like that's what this is. Us watching the show and me giving my opinions on it. So if here's what I've heard though. I've heard that Seth is not expected to miss Mania. So I want to put a pin in that because I want to get to that when we get to the Seth Rollins thing.
For sure. For sure.
Okay. Stephen Chambers, guys, we got a lot of comments here. Number one, I'm gonna try and find a way. Oh, I can't get rid of that because it's on yours. I can't block your viewers, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, I'll block him. Hold on.
Okay.
But go on.
So let's. I'm gonna catch up on some of these. Terrellism says Jade isn't winning the Rumble. Love her, but just isn't happening. I suspect it's Bailey for the women and Punk for the men, but Seth is hurt, so that may change the men's Royal Rumble. I wanna just really quick make a comment about Terrellism. Appreciate Terrell. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the follow button and stuff like that. Anybody else, make sure you hit the follow button, like button, share button, whatnot. This is why, like, one of my things about moving away from dirt sheets and whatnot. I don't know if you recall, but there were so many anti WWE, anti whatever, just anti people on social media implying that Jade Cargill wasn't on TV because WWE thought she sucked in the ring and she was taking time at the Performance Center. I'm sure they are making her go through time at the Performance Center like they do every single wrestler that they bring in. But remind you that Jade Cargill was trained by Bryan Danielson. To spread that rumor out. And then it actually wound up not being true at all because Jade was actually taking time off because her mother was sick and then her mother passed away, or her grandmother. I can't remember which, and I don't mean to speak out of term that way, but that's why she was gone. So I love the fact that there's people, like I said, that's why I've kind of separated myself from like dirt sheets, is because people will take something and run with it and it's not true. Just because they read it or they assumed it or whatever. I don't think that there is anything too wrong. I think Jade is green, but I don't think Jade is dangerous. I don't think Jade is reckless. Jade in her last few months at AEW looked great. And they played to her strengths and helped cover up her weaknesses, if you will, which WWE is fantastic at doing. Hence why they've had guys like Ryback and Goldberg excel in the company, is because they play to people's strengths and hide their weaknesses. So I just wanted to harp on that real quick. That, you know, Jade, I love that Jade's name is being thrown around. I don't think it is going to be Jade, but I love the fact that people,
I think she finally makes her appearance at Royal
yeah,
Rumble. Like that's what it is. I think that's 100%. But yeah, she's not winning. Not
yeah.
at all.
What is let's try and catch up with a couple other these ones. What if Punk wins the Rumble and Seth is out for WrestleMania? We see Drew win the world title, or Damian cashes in for the title, and we see Cody make The Rock versus Roman a triple threat with Cody added while Bayley wins the Rumble. Just a thought if Seth were to not be cleared for WrestleMania.
Well,
There's
that's
a lot to unpack. Steven Chambers says put Cody at 1 and Punk at 2. Start off the Rumble. I don't know about that.
You need strategic. They give them numbers on purpose. You need strategic areas to get the crowd back in, or so you get that pop. So you can't really do that.
Yep. Jake has a really
Punk wins the men's Royal Rumble. Cody wins the Elimination Chamber. Cody takes the title. Took it off too fast.
My bad. Yeah.
Cody takes the title from Roman at WrestleMania 40 on night 2. That's not happening.
We'll get into that. So we've got our predictions. Let's go with one. Now, there's 2 more matches that we need to talk about as of right now. Obviously, WWE could throw a couple more matches on the card this week. But right now, the United States Championship with Logan Paul and Kevin Owens. Who you got?
Logan Paul.
Agreed.
Obvious choice. But I do want to harp on their feud, if you don't mind. So number one, yeah, Logan Paul. You said you agree, right? Like there's no chance that Kevin Owens loses.
Kevin Owens wins. You mean?
I mean wins. Yeah, wins.
I'll pick Logan. Yeah.
Yeah. So Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens. I like it. Their feud has been pretty good. So Kevin Owens won the United States Championship tournament, going over on a couple up and comers, in my opinion, that I felt as though, while I understand the move because of their feud, I felt as these guys shouldn't have taken the L. I mean, we have Austin Theory, who was this handpicked successor of the WWE, and it seems like he's now in a downward spiral. And then you had Santos Escobar, who had defected from the LWO, who's extremely hot and now has Legado de Fantasma back with Humberto and what's the other guy's name? I forget. They're cousins, Humberto and some.
Yeah,
I forgot the other guy, but Legado's back.
Angel.
So Angel Garza and Humberto. Yeah, there you go. Angel Garza, which I love. I love them together. It also adds to the tag team depth, which I love. You know how I am with tag teams. But was Kevin Owens the correct choice to win that United States tournament? That's just my whole thing. While I love the feud, I think the feud has been great, and I think the match is going to deliver 100%. And you know how I feel about Logan Paul in the ring now. But was Kevin Owens the right choice to win this tournament, that you had so many young guys that are ready to come up and
1,000%
take over? Yeah, 1,000%. Okay.
1,000%. And the reason why is because and Logan Paul has looked absolutely phenomenal in the ring.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. If you're WWE, and I don't mean this to come off that way, but if you're WWE, do you trust Santos Escobar to go in with Logan Paul and put on a fantastic match?
I sure do.
That people will, that will be a marquee match.
I sure do.
I do, but
Santos is working NXT. You watched NXT Black and Gold, right?
Of course, yes.
Obviously. All right.
Yeah, so I'm not taking anything away from Santos Escobar.
Yeah, the guy can go, man.
No. I'm not taking anything away from Santos Escobar or any of the other guys that were in that tournament. What I'm saying is that if you're WWE and you have somebody like Logan Paul and you are protecting him because, he's not a full-time wrestler. Don't get me wrong. Logan Paul has done great, and he has looked he is one of the best celebrities to come in and do this ever. And he works really
the
hard.
best celebrity to ever do it.
Well, Bad Bunny looked pretty
I
good.
love me some Bad Bunny. I really do. Don't get me. I'm not
But
shading Bad Bunny at all.
Logan looks like a
Logan,
professional wrestler.
exactly.
He's got the look and everything. So
Exactly.
all I'm saying is that while yes, it would have been cool to see, Santos get that opportunity. I think this was the right call for Logan Paul to have a veteran like Kevin Owens in the ring and go with him. Same thing with, anytime like WrestleMania 32 when they did the Johnny Knoxville match. I don't think there was a better choice than Sami Zayn for that match. If you'd have stuck somebody like Austin Theory in that match, I don't think it would have. This isn't like a Paul McAfee thing where it's, you come in, you hype the crowd up for 2 minutes, and then you do your finishing move, and then you beat him. I'm not saying Paul McAfee can't do that.
Pat McAfee.
I'm not saying he can't do that. I'm just saying like this isn't one of those situations. I think that was the reason behind is you wanted a strong veteran like Kevin Owens to go in there and make Logan Paul look as good as he's looked these past couple of years.
I understand that argument 100%. And I agree with it for the most part. But I mean, the guy was in the ring with fucking Roman Reigns. The guy has been in just marquee matches. I mean, the guy could do it, and I don't think he needs to be quote unquote protected as much as people think. And number two, Santos Escobar didn't just start wrestling last week. Santos has been wrestling for a long time.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
All right, he's got the lucha style. He was in Mexico. The guy can carry a match. So I think with Santos being pushed the way he's pushed, I felt as though he should have won that tournament. But I understand, like I said, why Kevin Owens won the tournament, and I understand your reasoning by it as well. And I think your reasoning is kind of spot on as well. Carrying him in that match, making him look good, making it good. But I don't think Logan Paul needs to be protected as much as people think that he needs to be protected. So
it's crazy because I don't know his training regimen at all. I think we had made this or somebody had made this comment on this show. Chris Van Vliet did an interview with John Morrison, Johnny Impact, Johnny Dynamite, Johnny Collision, John Hennigan, one of a fantastic talent, had said in his interview, if I had days to train one-on-one with Shawn Michaels, I'd be really great. I'd look really great too. And Alex understood the assignment. Johnny TV,
Johnny Mundo.
I
think Johnny Mundo is my favorite.
But I still think Logan takes this match. I wouldn't be surprised if they turn just like Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are just destined to meet, whether it's together or against each other. So I wouldn't be surprised if they throw Sami Zayn in here somehow after this match at Royal Rumble, whether it's triple threat or whatever the case may be. Let's talk about this final match, the Fatal 4-Way, where Nick Aldis mentioned on Friday that if Roman didn't sign the contract, they would vacate the title. And I'm telling you what, man, I watched social media blow up, and they were like, "This is how they do it. This is how they get the title off of Roman." And I was like,
"No,
wow." I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe people even thought that was an idea. So I just wanted to laugh at people and bring that up. Who do you got in this match?
Roman Reigns. He's meeting his cousin at Mania. It's already it's done. It's done.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's gonna be, just for the record, I'm gonna officially say it, Roman Reigns is winning this. All right, just for the record. I don't think it's gonna be a triple threat at WrestleMania either. It's just gonna be The Rock.
Not.
It's The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and Roman Reigns is now not losing for 2 years.
No, that's not what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's what's
Um,
happening.
what did I tell you was going to happen last year?
You didn't say the Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. That's what you did
Whoa,
not
whoa,
say.
whoa, 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 whoa. Don't you,
Now,
don't
that's
you,
not what
don't
you
you
did
both
not
face.
say.
I
That's
will
not
go
what you
clip
did
it.
not say.
I will have the clip ready for you tomorrow.
I got it clipped already, bro. Like,
What did I tell you was going to happen? This
you
is what
said
I told you last year. Roman would face The Rock night
at
one.
SummerSlam.
No. You
I said Royal Rumble. I said Royal Rumble. I said Royal Rumble. I know.
and
I
I
know
never said
exactly what I said. I know exactly what I
so.
said.
I'll
You
clip it
said
and I'll show.
SummerSlam.
I'll clip it and I'll show you because I have it. Because it's been the same thing I've said for the past 2 years.
All right.
Roman will face The Rock night one, and The Rock will take Roman to his limit, and Roman will win. But he will not leave the ring unscathed. Night two, he will face Cody Rhodes.
No way.
Yep.
Nope. You're gonna make him go twice when you have the World Heavyweight Championship on the other show?
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
Not with Seth Rollins. Yes, Hogan's record. That's happening, unfortunately. You got Seth Rollins building up this title, this championship that to a main event level of what he's saying, and the Workman's Championship,
But
and
is
the
it
guy over
though?
there. I'm not saying
Though?
I don't agree
But
with
is
it,
it though?
but that's what they're saying it
And
is.
and
But
hold
that's
on
what they're saying it is.
before you go forward, Mark. Let's back up. Are they treating it like it is? I mean, this isn't just you and me saying that they're not treating that title like it's the main title. WWE is willingly letting us know that that's not the main title.
Oh yeah.
That Roman is the main dog.
Oh yeah. So you're gonna have Roman go main event both nights?
Yeah.
And lose
absolutely.
night two?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna ask you
What
you
about
two
Hogan's
questions.
record? What about Hogan's record?
What about Hogan's record? Who
It's
cares?
being broken. It's being broken.
Who cares about Roman's record or Hogan's record?
The WWE.
No, they don't.
Broken. They're doing a title reset on everything. How have you not seen it? Intercontinental Championship resetted. Women's Championship resetted. Roman Reigns about to be reset.
He would have to beat Bruno Sammartino's record.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Bruno Sammartino, huh?
2 more years.
He's going 2 more years. He's gonna go to WrestleMania 2026 with the title.
Why not? You got a World Heavyweight Championship. You guys wanted it. You got it. You got 2 championships on 2 shows. You wanted it.
See, I can't do this. I have to do this show with somebody who takes it seriously.
I do take it seriously.
An ass. No, they are not having him keep the title until 2026.
Watch.
Okay. Cool.
Watch.
Anyways, moving on.
Watch.
Seth Rollins injury.
You heard it here first, guys.
Seth Rollins injury. What happens next?
I don't know, man. I mean, the dirt sheets are all over the place, right? Everyone's saying on Monday he's relinquishing it. I don't think so. If he does relinquish it, then maybe the
Bruno Sammartino 2603
3 days. I thought we were on Seth Rollins.
What's Roman at now?
I thought we were at Seth Rollins now.
What's Roman at now?
I thought we're on
What's Roman at now?
I thought we're at Seth Rollins now.
What is Roman at now?
I thought we're at Seth Rollins now.
Can somebody please answer me in the chat?
Jesus Christ, dude. Oh my God. Now we have to stop the show because Chase doesn't like people's opinions except his own.
That's not an opinion. You thinking that Roman is going to...
It's my opinion, not yours.
No, it's not.
Reigns current title range. Who are you to tell me what my opinion is?
Because I can tell when you're being a fucking idiot.
No, that's my opinion.
1,200 days.
He is currently at, today is, what'd you say? You already got it? 1,200 days?
Well, that's what the internet says. The internet says 1,238.
1238.
Okay.
As of today.
So, and Hogan is at 1,474.
Yep.
So, what is the significance of going to number 3, where Hogan is? If you're doing a title reset and you want to go to where Hogan is, why not go to Bruno? And if he goes to Bruno, that's 1,200 more days.
Did I say we were going to stop at Hogan?
No, I'm asking you. 2603.
Mhm.
So if they're doing a title reset, they're
Mhm.
going after Bruno's record.
Mhm.
You think that they're going to have Roman keep that title for over 2,603 days?
I mean, they already did it for 4 years. What makes me think they're not going to do it now?
It hasn't been 4 years yet, guy.
Feels like it.
It's only been 3. It hasn't even been 3.5 yet.
Oh, excuse me.
So
Excuse me.
you think that they're going at 2,600?
Everything has been a reset. At this point, my whole opinion has changed now with CM Punk back. Wait, it's not my opinion. Hold on, guys. This is me being an ass. Excuse me.
Yes.
So with me being an ass, what at this point, what makes me feel as though they're going to make anything different? You have another championship that's defended regularly on the other show, right? CM Punk is back, right? So what makes me think now Cody's the number one guy to take it off of him? I hope it is. That's what I've been saying for years. It was going to be the rematch. But at the same time, with everything else getting a reset and you have a new championship, what makes me think now all of a sudden it's not going to be changing hands? Like, what makes me think it's gonna change hands now? Like, you have another championship. The shows are separated. The rosters are separated. Who gives a fuck? The guy shows up every other fucking month. Yeah, they could go for Bruno Sammartino. Is that me being an ass? No, that's an opinion from another wrestling fan. It is what
No.
it is.
You being an
You
ass.
you may not like the opinion,
You
and
don't
that's
believe, but
fine.
you don't
And that
believe it.
is fine. I do
You don't
believe it.
believe that.
I go look at it. Look at it. Tag team champion, the tag team championships. Usos held it, broke the record, right? Intercontinental championship. Who has it? Gunther broke the record, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The U.S. title, not yet. I don't think that will be broken yet. All right. The Women's World Championship, broken. Bianca Belair, right? Everything's being reset for the new generation, man. And now you got a second World Championship. You don't have to take it off of Roman anymore. They could just be like, "Fuck off," and that's it. You could say that it's an ass opinion, but
no,
it but no 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 no
you don't
no no no
believe
no
that.
no no. I do believe it because
You
that's
and
why
I
I'm
both know
saying
you
it.
don't believe
Because
that.
that's why I'm saying it. That's why I'm saying it. I don't say shit just to say it. When have I
Yeah, you
ever
do.
said that? No, I haven't.
Yes, you do.
No, I haven't. So
Anyways,
I've been preaching this. No, don't cut me off. I've been saying this to my friends for months now that I truly believe that this is where it's heading. It's a title reset.
records meant to be broken. Unfortunately, gentlemen, no one touching Bruno's record though.
Hope I'm wrong.
2,600 days. Yeah.
This is why I detest two world titles. Yes, sir. I've been saying that too, but that's also an ass opinion from me too. So
No, it's not.
yeah.
I said the same thing. I said it when they made it. I was like that. I don't see the point in having this other title if it plays second fiddle to Romans, and it has played second fiddle to Romans. They're going to try and not do that with CM Punk winning the Royal Rumble and challenging Seth Rollins for the title. Seth Rollins' injury. What happens next?
I don't know. What happens next?
I think it would be really cool if they went ahead and had Damian cash in tomorrow. If he attacked Seth, cashed in, won the world title, and Seth Rollins invokes his rematch clause either at Elimination Chamber or closer to that middle of March timeline when he's supposed to come back.
WWE doesn't have rematch clauses anymore.
And when he does the rematch, Finn turns on Damian, and we get Finn and Damian versus each other at WrestleMania, and then Seth can go on and face Punk at Mania for the title.
I mean, that'd be cool. If he's not as hurt as people think, or it's a short rehab time, I think he just holds on to it until WrestleMania. I don't think he relinquishes it whatsoever, unless it's going to be a long rehab. No one knows.
Yeah.
So I think now, but with his injury and everything coming out, I do believe my thoughts have changed on Damian Priest because at this point I was sure Damian Priest is going to have a failed cash in. Now not so much because of his injury. I feel as though now he might have a successful cash in, so I could see that happening possibly tomorrow because he's hurt and Damian taking advantage of it. But yeah, I mean, he doesn't need to be champion for WrestleMania if we're gonna get CM Punk and Seth Rollins at Mania. So
yeah, no, I think it would. I think somewhere along there you have to have Damian involved somehow, whether it's a failed cash in. I mean, not like a failed cash in, but where he acts like he's going to cash in, but it doesn't go through. At some point, Damian's got to be mixed into it. But I think the end goal should be Punk versus Seth at Mania, because that has been the match that they are trying to run with.
Need Finn and Damian to lose tag titles first. Not necessarily. I mean, it just adds more to the story of them, going after each other. The jealousy is what's been driving their quote unquote separation for a year already. So having the tag titles while he has a championship might even make it worse. You never know.
Yeah, 2 failed cash-ins back to back. I can't see it. It's crazy. I don't think that you're going to see a failed cash in. I think when Damian officially cashes in, I think Damian will walk away with the championship. I could see. Jake says they're saying that Seth should be good to go by WrestleMania if he doesn't end up having surgery. I feel like this is the same situation a few years ago when it was Seth and Triple H. And remember Samoa Joe put him in that coquina clutch, and he fell on his knee wrong, and he messed up a ligament in his kneecap. But he was still good to go by Mania. Of course, like I said, we have no idea the severity of the injury, but I could see them doing something similar with this, where they hold off Seth and kind of keep him off TV and protect him a little bit until Mania, and then let him go for Mania.
Yeah, I think that's the move, especially if it's a short rehab type deal. I could just totally see him just maybe dropping a promo here and there, and maybe Gunther having more TV time, more tournaments, and focus on the IC up until WrestleMania season, and then the World Heavyweight Championship will be more focused.
Indeed. Tony Khan. What says you, my friend?
I don't hate it.
We saw the interaction on Twitter with Tony Khan and his activity, and it actually leading to Hook getting a title shot. I know you wanted to ask if Hook was ready. So what do you think, man? What do you think about Tony Khan's Twitter shenanigans, and what do you think about Hook getting the title shot?
So I go back and forth with Tony Khan's Twitter shenanigans. At one point, I think it's stupid because he's an owner of another company and he's making another person from a different company look shitty. But at the same time, any publicity is good publicity, in my opinion, and it all just brought eyes on everything, in my opinion. So, and I think that's always good for the business. So that's just me. As far as Hook, I agree with Tony Khan's comment in those Twitters, like where he has one loss. You're not doing anything with Hook. Hook should have already been away from this bullshit FTW title. This FTW title shouldn't even be on TV anymore. And he should have been already being elevated to some type of mid-card duty, which of the plethora of championships that are actually recognized on that fucking show that he could have been going after. But the match itself, I thought it was good, and I think he held his own with Samoa Joe, and I was highly entertained. I'm just glad he didn't freaking break his neck because Samoa Joe threw him on the damn announcer's table on his neck, so thank God for that. But I enjoyed the match overall, and I think he was well deserving of a title shot, especially with their roster being what it is. I mean, who are you going to put up in there? that are not former champions, and he's young enough and hot enough to do it. So why not?
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was a great call. Hook is over. So I thought it was just like a little like nobody thought Hook would win. Of course, there were some times in that match where you kind of thought like, oh man, like could it? You know, as far as Tony Khan's like Twitter shenanigans go, I don't really care. Um, you know, I do think that I don't want to be too negatively negative towards it. But I do think that for a while last year, there was just like this floating thing in AEW where it was like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing with this? What are we doing with that? A lot of weird stuff went on. And when you see like the owner of the company on Twitter arguing with people instead of focusing on the product, then it's like, like that's weird. But it pays off. Every single time he does do that, we get an instance where we get a great match like Hook versus Samoa Joe, or we get a surprise comeback or a surprise signing or something like that. So I just don't care. If he posts on Twitter, he posts on Twitter. If he doesn't, okay.
I mean, everyone fucking posts on Twitter. He's just getting heat
Exactly.
because he owns a fucking company.
Yeah.
I talk shit on Twitter all the fucking time, but you don't see me in the limelight, you know.
Here's the thing that sucks about like wrestling and this little internet wrestling community, if you will. Everybody thinks they know everything about the business, and everybody thinks they know everything about how to run the business. So because what it boils down to is Tony Khan is one of the most successful people to start a wrestling promotion that just happens to be in the same market as WWE. And because people don't like that, because most of wrestling fans weren't even alive when another major competitor was going up against WWE 20 years ago, 23 years ago. People think that it's stupid. They'll find any reason to criticize it. My thing is if you don't like what Tony Khan posts on Twitter, don't get on Twitter. Don't follow Tony Khan on Twitter. And if you don't like the product that Tony Khan puts out, don't watch Tony Khan's product. That's what I did. If I was kind of like sour on it, I was like, yeah, I'm just not in the mood to watch that this week. It is what it is. The state of AEW right now, let's talk about some positive things instead of talking about negative things. Christian and what he is doing in AEW. Christian took the TNT title and made it one of the main titles in AEW. Crazy. After it felt like that title was kind of like going through the motions, it's just crazy to see like where Christian has the TNT championship. Plus taking a young kid like I can't even remember his name now. The young kid he has with him.
Yeah.
I'm pulling a brain fart.
Yeah, me too. His son, Nick Wayne.
Yeah.
Nick Wayne.
Yeah, Nick Wayne. What he's done for Nick Wayne, and regardless of how silly his name change to Killswitch was, what he's done, still leaving the door open for Luchasaurus and for Killswitch, and having him be a main player, and the matches that he's put on and the work that he's put in. Christian's awesome. I have nothing negative to say. The only thing I would say is that I wish that him and Edge split their wins together, but I think it's leading to something bigger, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
So
there's nothing really for me to add on that. I think Christian has just done an exceptional job on AEW. Like, that guy's just must watch. Every time I see him, I'm glued to the TV. TNT Championship is relevant. It's a top title in that company, and Christian's to thank for that 100%.
yes.
So
Terrellism says, I think that's why TNA isn't working with AEW as much anymore. TNA should have been where AEW is now over 10 years ago. AEW did in 5 years what TNA hasn't been able to do. The reason why is money. I think that some people just don't understand where the difference is between hundreds of millions of dollars and billions of dollars is. When you take a family like the Khan family, who is worth billions of dollars, it's hard to. Plus, Tony Khan had all the available assets to start this company and make this company what it is, whereas TNA kind of started a little bit, not bottom of the barrel, but God, do you remember when TNA was weekly pay-per-views where you had to watch their weekly show Explosion? You had to buy a
5 minutes
pay-per-view.
pay-per-view. Yep.
Yeah. And then when Impact went on Spike TV for a minute. So I think that's the difference. I think a lot of the reason why they aren't working together, it's nice to keep the forbidden door open, but there has to be some sort of there has to be a return on investment. So if TNA sends somebody to AEW to work a program, I think that does a whole lot better for TNA than it does for somebody from TNA to come over to AEW. It's not doing that. It's not doing the same for Impact. You know what I mean? Or TNA. So Christian can go to TNA, and TNA can reap the benefits of that. But TNA is not reaping the benefits sending somebody to AEW.
I don't know. I feel like personally, since we're talking about the state of AEW, I think AEW just relies too much on outside work. To be honest, I think that Forbidden Door needs to just close a little bit instead of being just wide open. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love seeing Evil Death and Kingo. The guy can go, but he's not an AEW guy. You know what I mean? Like, he is a world champion at a different promotion for a reason. And I feel like it kind of loses its luster when I see these guys all the time, as opposed to be like, oh shit, this guy's here for this pay-per-view. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. I mean, you have such a large roster, and you have the ROH roster, and you have other people that you could start trying to build up, but instead you're giving TV time, your AEW TV time, to somebody else's champion or somebody else's is employee. And
Yep.
I'm not with that. While I do love the excitement of seeing somebody else there, and you could still keep that Forbidden Door slightly open, I think it needs to shut because it's just wide open right now.
I think that might be the best for now. In doing that Forbidden Door thing as a special event once, twice a year, maybe 3 times a year, whatever. But for it to, like you said, for it to constantly be wide open, I don't think it's doing either a lot of favors. The other thing kind of, in AEW that I'm kind of excited about, the new Bucks' new attitude, man. I don't like it. They did that with Seth Rollins, right? When Seth Rollins had real legitimate hate towards him, for, I think, the whole thing with him and Will Ospreay happened on Twitter. And WWE was still trying to force Seth Rollins as being a top babyface. And the fans were just like, yeah, no, we're not having it. Because we kind of know how that went. I feel like they were doing the same thing with the Young Bucks. They were telling us like, hey, like, this is how it's perceived. We don't know, but this is how it's perceived. That your EVPs are kind of, not arrogant, but they were shown in a certain light when the whole brawl out thing happened, right? So now they come back and they've got a new attitude and they're leaning into it. leaning into exactly that realness, whether it's true or not. That's what the people on the internet and what the dirt sheets thought. And so they're doing a really good job of leaning into it. The women's division. The women's division, I think, has not done a complete 180, but it's close. It's getting there. We're at 90. We're at a 90% angle right now. We're almost at a full 180. So much talent between the ROH and AEW roster. Athena, Billy Starks, and then what they've got on AEW with Toni Storm and everything that she's doing. She's arguably one of the hottest things in AEW right now. And with Deonna Purrazzo, and then, of course, talks of Mercedes headed that way. That's where I stand right now on the state of AEW. What says you, my friend?
I think
Hart.
Julia Hart, 100%. I think AEW's women's division did do a 180. You're going to get returning stars soon as well, on top of, new addition of Deonna Purrazzo. So, we're going to see Britt Baker coming back soon. I definitely want to see Jamie Hayter again. And I do think we finally get Mercedes in AEW. I think that happens at Revolution. That was my big prediction. I've been talking about that for a couple weeks now. My favorite thing about AEW is, in fact, Christian right now. And I think that's great, but I think we need to figure out the main event picture a lot more, in my opinion. Samoa Joe's opponents, I do like that Hangman's kind of going back in there. I do absolutely love Swerve Strickland. I think he's going to be the champion very, very soon. I don't see Samoa Joe holding onto that title very long. I think it might be a few months, but I think Swerve needs that championship now. I thought he was going to win that tournament, but he didn't. He needs a championship, and I think Swerve's so hot that he needs to capitalize on that. I don't hate AEW, but I don't love AEW right now. I think there's a lot of things that it needs to work on. But I still enjoy the show. It's still the product that really got me back into wrestling and doing these shows with you. And we used to do the AEW Dynamite show. But I think there's a lot of things that AEW needs to change. Like I said earlier, the Forbidden Door idea needs to change. I think they need to put more highlight on their own product. The women's division has very exciting lately, and I've been really wanting to do that. The tag division, another thing I did want to harp on. Finally, who just came back? I'm drawing a blank here. A Private Party finally tagging together, away from fucking the clutches of the Hardys. I mean, being in a useless faction. I think that's exciting. I think AEW should just go back to what made them, good, right? They said that when they in its inception, it was, we have the best tag team division. I think you start there, and you really do a reset on that division, and you have those guys that you wanted to push back then, push them now. And I think that's what's the positive, instead of always sitting here talking about the negative of AEW. I still enjoy the show, but I think it definitely needs to be better, and they need to figure some things out.
Yeah, no, I was extremely sour on it going into the summer. I thought the Punk situation was handled poorly.
Yeah.
Again, for the second time. Again, I don't want to go too much into the negatives, but there was a lot of negatives, and I do feel like that they are, like I said, on the upward with everything. Talk to me about the Devil storyline, man. We never really got a chance to talk about it that much, and it was just finally revealed. Adam Cole turned out to be the Devil. What do you think about that?
I think that's something that you and I both already knew, and a lot of people already knew. We kind of called it. I like that Adam Cole is the Devil. We all knew that he was finally going to turn on him. It just kind of sucks where I feel as though it was kind of rushed towards the end. Maybe that's just me. I feel like we could have done more with that story. But I know MJF wanted to see it through, and he lost the championship. But I just wish it would have been Adam Cole versus MJF for that championship, turning out to him being the Devil and finding some way as the Devil, getting him into that title shot. So, but overall, I'm happy with it. Undisputed Kingdom, that new group. What do you think about it?
I love it. I'll tell you what I would change about it. Wardlow.
Thank you. I didn't want to be the guy
I
because
I
I knew I would have harped on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
no, I literally feel like it's a wash, rinse, repeat
yes,
of
yes, yes.
of MJF. Like he's literally like, you know, and again, I don't want to sound too negative about it, but you literally told us on the you literally told us with the story that MJF and Wardlow told. Like MJF was like, "You're gonna win this match, and I'm gonna do this." Like MJF literally told him, you're going to win the match and win the championship, and you're going to relinquish it to me. On several occasions, I think he did it with the TNT championship. He did it with the Ring or something like that. There was a match where Wardlow won, and MJF walked in the ring and was like, "That's mine," and because you work for me.
Yep.
And here we are again. And Wardlow just couldn't wait to get away from Max because Max was taking advantage of him. And there were so many people that came through and got in Wardlow's ear. CM Punk, who was like, "You're being used by Max," and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And here we are again. And,
That's
you
why I
know,
deferred to you first. Can you highlight? Yeah, thank you. So
we
this was
slowly
done
built.
already.
Yeah,
This
we
was done
slowly
already.
built Wardlow as a babyface. And then I don't want to say he couldn't get over because I don't
No,
think I don't think
he
that
was over.
that's what I mean.
He was over.
I think that AEW didn't know what to do with him when he was over, when he finally got over.
Exactly. And I said this when we were doing the Dynamite post show. Who is Wardlow without MJF? Now I'm going to say it again. Who is Wardlow without Undisputed Kingdom? The same shit that we just had. He was over and they did nothing with him. He was TNT champion and he was still doing squash matches. He came back as a potential babyface prior to joining this faction and he was doing squash matches. You gave me zero reason to back Wardlow. And here we are, 2 years later, still saying the same shit.
Yeah,
Love
it's
the
crazy.
Love the Undisputed Kingdom. I think it's great. Putting Wardlow is basically, hey man, we don't know what to do with you. So here you are. You're the muscle of another faction. Enjoy.
Yeah, yeah. So here's my thing. I wouldn't have such an issue with it because I love that Wardlow was thrown into Undisputed Kingdom because of his past with MJF, and I love that they did that. I think I would have loved it even more if it was Sean Spears, FTR, and Wardlow. I think I'd have loved that a lot. But
The failed
I,
pinnacle. Yeah, I would have loved that.
but my biggest issue has been that Adam Cole has said several times that Wardlow's going to win the AEW championship and then give it to him. And it's just like, we saw this already. You've literally done this exact same thing. It would be like it was like back in 2005, Batista turns on Triple H, faces Triple H at WrestleMania. They have that long summer feud in 2005, and then 2 years later, Batista joins Triple H again, and it's like and recycles the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like not joins him, because obviously tag teams don't stay broken up forever in wrestling, and stables don't stay broken up forever in wrestling, so to speak. It's wrestling. But what I'm saying is to recycle literally the same story is insane. Like I said, love the group. I'm just very interested in seeing what happens with this Wardlow dynamic of that group. I think that Adam Cole turning out to be the devil was very predictable, but it was a good predictable.
It was
I
predictable,
think
but it
that
was the move. It was definitely the move.
yeah, absolutely. It couldn't have been anybody else. The idea of, oh, what if it was Dolph Ziggler? What if it was this person or that person? Nobody wanted to see a surprise. The only type of surprise I would have loved to have seen was CM Punk, and that wasn't going to happen. So Adam Cole was the right call.
Agreed.
Uh, The speaking of the right calls, and what happened in AEW over the summer, Jack Perry was suspended during the whole CM Punk debacle over the summer. Jack Perry shows up in New Japan with an AEW contract and tears it up. What do you think, man?
Great call.
Huh?
Great call. Helps his character. Love it.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think
like,
it was fantastic.
I love it too.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question though: do you think it's a work?
Yeah. 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 I think he's still suspended. I think they're like, yo, we don't have anything for you right now. You're still under contract. There's still, people still talking about it. CM Punk on the other show. Take work on other places. He rips up the 8. Come on, man. He's gonna go and be like, hey, here's my not on live TV. No, not happening.
Well,
No.
when you're the only reason I would even entertain the idea is because it is a known fact in wrestling that you do stuff. What'd you say earlier? Any publicity is good publicity,
Good publicity.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Eric Bischoff once said, "Controversy creates cash."
Yep.
Medusa, Alundra Blaze shows up on WCW and throws the WWE Women's Championship in the trash can. DX takes the tank to WCW. All these oh my god like moments, and I feel like, especially when you're a guy like Jack Perry, who is criticized for having a goofy gimmick, and nobody's really ever taken him seriously. And if he's no longer with AEW, I think it would be a great way to make a message to get people talking about you. People are talking about him anyways. Like I said, I just don't know. I haven't read if Jungle Boy or Jack Perry is still under contract with AEW. I assume he is, maybe. I don't know, but I would garner it was probably a work, but either way, it's great stuff, and it's a great way to get your name out there because of the wrestling business where it's at right now. Our guy Matt Cardona out there making great money on the indie scene, charging a lot of money, and he's worth it. But he's charging a lot of money. I know because I've inquired.
Really?
Mustafa Ali is charging a lot of money. Again, those guys are worth it. But if you're looking at getting onto that scene, the New Japan scene, the indie scene, you got to do something to make people go, "Oh, okay."
So I just
All right.
looked up AEW's official roster as of today. Jack Perry's not on it.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know the official. I think this is an MJF thing? Because don't get me wrong, we all know why MJF hasn't been on TV.
Right.
They're trying to play this whole January 2024 thing.
Well, MJF's still on the roster according to this.
Yeah. But he's taking a little bit of time off. I don't think MJF is going anywhere. Jack Perry, I don't know. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But I think the play to rip up the AEW contract to make noise, whether it is a work or not, is going to do him great favors.
I agree.
On the independent scene in New Japan. So.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I love the move. I thought it was great. He rips with the contract. I love it, and I hope that he just does well. I don't hate him at all.
Quick hits. Let's hit these comments a little bit. You know what? I didn't have this in there. Terrellism says Tony Khan has announced that rankings are coming back. So what do you think about that? Tony Khan talking about presenting AEW more as a sports product.
I mean, I've always loved that. That was one of the things that I liked when AEW first started. Having their records on there. Cody Rhodes 10-0. Whatever, and that going to the rankings and giving people legitimate, like, this is why this person's getting a title shot, because the guy's 29-1. I like the rankings, and I like all that, and that was a concept that I truly enjoyed, and I think that's fine.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. The reality is that AEW is not WWE. And that's good. That it's an alternative.
Yeah. I think anything you can differentiate from other companies, especially the WWE company, is best.
See, that was not bullshit. I believe that. When you said that, I believe that. That was the longest eye roll I've ever seen.
If you want to go back and talk about it, that's legit my opinion on it right now. And you could think I'm full of shit or not. That's what I tell everyone. I talk about it at work. I talk about it with my family. I truly think it's being a fucking record reset, bro. Like, that's just what I feel right now. I have zero confidence on WWE doing the right thing. I have zero confidence on WWE doing Cody right. Like, I just don't have the confidence. I hope I'm wrong. I want to eat my words. I hope it's the way you say it. I hope it's Roman night 1 with The Rock and Roman and Cody night 2. And I hope Cody fucking beats him. But I just have zero confidence of that happening.
Let's dive into some quick hits, give our bad bookings of the week, and then let's roll out of here, guy. Had a pretty packed show. And we're not even at an hour and a half, man. That's crazy. Jungle Boy versus Jack Perry. Love it. Book it. Bring it to Kansas City, and I'll book it here in Kansas City. Mercedes Moné, is she all elite finally, or is she going back to WWE?
I think she's all elite at Revolution.
You think so?
Yep. 100%.
I don't know, man.
Yep.
Especially, like, the more and more I think about it, and that's why I try not to think about it too much, but the more and more I think about it, the more and more her going back to WWE just makes the most sense. And like I said, that's why I try not to think about it.
I don't think it does.
Especially Bailey splitting off from Damage Control. Where's Bailey's backup? There's 4 of them bitches.
She don't need it. Fuck them bitches.
AOP back in WWE, and they paired him with Karrion Kross. The Final Testament, or the Last Testament.
Hate the name. The fucking name. But I would have rather just have them all called Authors of Pain. But obviously you can't do that. But whatever. Hate the name. Love the team.
I love that idea. I think that idea is great.
Yeah. Like, hate the name, love the team. It's good to see finally, quote unquote, Triple H's guys finally in the limelight here. You see DIY, making some noise in the tag team division. This is another group that dominated NXT but did nothing on the main show. It's cool. The only thing I did want to ask you is, like, with the Final Testament, that's a third heel faction, right? So you got Bloodline, obviously. Then you got the Judgment Day, obviously, right? So you have another heel faction. How do you feel about that? You think it's too much, or do you just? To me, I love factions, but do you think it's just too much, like another heel faction, and essentially going to be the same shit? Dirty wins and title wins and stuff like that.
Yeah. How many babyface factions in WWE have we
seen? Exactly. I mean, maybe I think it's just
they don't pan out.
The New Day. It's just the New Day.
Yeah. I mean, they just don't pan out very well.
Yep.
I completely brain farted on New Day, and I'm sure I'm probably brain farting on a couple others, but they don't last.
I mean, remember DX was eventually babyface here and there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Union. Remember the Union?
The Union.
Yeah.
Terrible. Terrible.
What was that? It was Big Show, Mankind, Ken Shamrock,
and
Test. Right?
Talk about non-charisma motherfuckers.
Well, except for McFoley, of course.
Except for McFoley.
Yeah.
You know.
Look at how with our truth in the Judgment Day, I'd say turn them face eventually.
I mean, since we're on that, I mean, we'll do that real quick as a quick hit right here. I'll add that.
Yeah.
I mean, the Judgment Day is seemingly on the same turn as the Bloodline, right? The Bloodline, you were saying it's stale. You know, what is this going to break up? Whatever. And then what happens? You add Sami Zayn, and all of a sudden it's fresh again. It's funny. What's the Judgment doing? It's stale. Are they going to break up? What's going on? And then you fucking add R-Truth over here, selling merch and giving everyone stacks of cash, and
Yeah.
it's funny again. I mean, it's the same thing. So
It's adding a little a very entertaining aspect, a charismatic aspect to the group, and I love it. It's great. Speaking of great, I never looked at it. I tried not to let it bug me. I know it bugged a lot of wrestling fans, but Butch is no more. The Bruiserweight Pete Dunne is officially back. And it just like, and here's what's crazy is, WWE did everything they could, like in interviews and stuff like that, to tell us it's okay. It's not the same, or it's not like we're not changing these guys. We're just giving them different names. I mean, WWE made excuse after excuse after excuse for it. But yet, they knew what they were doing when they brought Tyler Bate, who I love, by the way. Every single time I see Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne on screen, it makes me think of NXT UK. And NXT UK, British strong style wrestling is my favorite style of wrestling, I think. I don't know. Ask me tomorrow and I'll probably change my mind. But right now, it's probably my favorite. But the way they just presented it, if it wasn't a big deal, like, how come you hyped up the crowd? You brought out Tyler Bate first. You waited to bring out Pete Dunne, and then you played his music. You had him come out in the old get-up, and his Titantron said Pete Dunne, and you heard the reaction from the crowd. If you didn't like them trying to tell us, oh, it's just their name. It's just a name. They're still the same guy. We just changed the name. It's not a big deal. But yet you present it like a big deal when you changed his name back. I don't know. I finally got to the point where I was like, I don't care. He's Pete Dunne. I'll call him Butch, but he's Pete Dunne. He's still the same person. I drank the Kool-Aid of what WWE wanted me to think. And then WWE presents it like it's a huge deal. Like here is the Bruiserweight. He's back. It's Pete Dunne. I don't know, man. What do you think about that?
no, I agree 100%. I think it's bullshit. Everything that they fed you, like, oh, it's just a name, whatever. No, there was a different feel. Everything you just said, I was just gonna say. He came out and that crowd popped 100% differently when Butch came out. All right, when Butch comes out as Butch,
it's still Pete Dunne, yeah.
But when Pete Dunne came out as Pete Dunne, very different. The crowd pop was different. The presentation was different.
To feed my argument, look at what they did with Max Dupree and LA Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think that they, I honestly think that it was one of those things where it was a management decision for the management at this time, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Mm-hmm. And now, in a way where I'll say this. Like I said, I don't want to get too far into this, but I'll say, because these are supposed to be quick hits, right? But I will say this. Oh, shit. Look at Crazy Eyes, man. Rating us with 8 viewers. Crazy Eyes. You ever met Crazy Eyes on Twitch? He does a lot of like video games and stuff. Also does like an eFed kind of thing. I think I was in that eFed for a while. I don't know if I still am. But Crazy Eyes, appreciate you showing love, man. Always in the Discord, and whenever I can hit up your channel, I will. We appreciate you. We are doing bad booking. We are just talking wrestling, guys. Actually, we're at the back end of it. But definitely heads up and big, huge ups to you guys for coming in with the raid. But what I was going to say is, I didn't want to do this, but I just feel like certain decisions that were made, the new regime tries to say, well, that's not why we changed our mind, and that's not why we did that. Are you still on baby duty? Anyways, Jason Morrow says they just finished the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. That is awesome. Appreciate the follow, Dark Mall. Alex says, I wish Kyle O'Reilly was doing the announcer for Pete Dunne because he would have said and introducing the next bruiserweight Pete Dunne. Agreed. Peter Dunne. But I just, like I said, with Triple H and the current regime in WWE has done a lot to make sure that they don't particularly throw the old regime and the old decisions under the bus. So I think that's why there's some pause or some time in between the Max Dupree and the LA Knight switchback and the Pete Dunne and Butch switchback. But they have done a really good job of not making it obvious, is what I'm saying. But it's still obvious.
No, yeah, I agree, man. 100%. It is like you could do all you can to try to mask things, but it's just not gonna happen.
Are we gonna get a Mrs. Kingpin appearance tonight?
Nope, sure not.
Nope, sure.
Nope. Bad booking of the week. Let's wrap this up.
Yep, you go first.
The potential final match of Sting being against the Young Bucks. I think it's stupid. Shouldn't be a tag team match. We talked and predicted for months that it would be a singles match. And if I get Darby Allin and Sting versus the fucking Young Bucks, I'm going to lose my shit.
Well, it looks like that's what's going to happen.
Yep.
Man, I feel kind of bad. I thought you were going to go with something else. I was going to do AEW as a whole, and this was going to be like my final soapbox here of this, because while we talked about the positives, I did want to talk about some of the things that AEW. Number one, why did Tony Khan make a decision to stand behind Chris Jericho after Chris Jericho was publicly accused of doing some pretty horrible things, which is crazy, because, and what was really shitty for Tony Khan to come out in that press conference and say that he wasn't going to address internet rumors or whatever, but he did that knowing that if it's true, the person signed an NDA, they can't come out and say that. See, those people know how NDAs work, whereas Mr. Chris Jericho doesn't know how NDAs work. Because I don't know if you saw the little Twitter spat he got in with.
I saw.
Okay.
Yeah.
With CM Punk's representative. It's crazy to me, man. Like, and this is nothing against. I'm not gonna. I have criticized for almost 20 years now the people who go, well, Chris Benoit was a really great wrestler and he should be recognized for his wrestling ability. Now, obviously, Chris Jericho didn't murder somebody, but I am not going to sit here and go, oh, we all know how great Chris Jericho is a talent in the ring. But when something like that happens, for Tony Khan to come out and be like, I'm not going to address internet rumors, when you know how that went. Because if he was accused of having them sign NDAs, and if you knew that they signed NDAs, Tony Khan, then you knew that it couldn't be any more than just a internet rumor. I feel like the ball was literally dropped. And I also think that it was a literal spit in the face to Kylie Rae and any other woman who elects to come forward, or we find out about any other women through through third parties, because obviously NDAs, I find it a literal spit in their face that not only did you not take Chris Jericho off of TV, you pushed him even further on TV in front of people. That was a fucked up move. And that is my bad booking of the week because, like I said, Chris Jericho is Chris Jericho, but and this is not I was a Chris Jericho fan. Obviously, he wasn't my favorite like yours, but I am a Chris Jericho fan. Was a Chris Jericho fan. I don't care what his wife did on January 6th. I think that's stupid. I don't really care. I'm a little bit of an anarchist, personally and politically. So if a bunch of people storm the Capitol, cool. I don't care. Burn it down. I'm upset that they didn't. I don't care if it was left wing or right wing. I don't care about Chris Jericho's political affiliations. But bro, when you are accused of taking advantage of women or children in this business and you still get a platform, it's wild to me. It's crazy. I wish that Tony Khan would have done it a little bit different. That's my bad booking of the week.
It's fair.
It's fair.
100% fair, dude. I mean, what am I gonna say? You know,
I let you go first. Yeah.
Shit,
that's why I let you go first, man. That's why I let you go first. All right, sir. Let's talk about current ventures and things that we got going on. Number one, Bad Booking is back. This is the season 2 premiere. We will be back here next week, same time. I may be a little bit inebriated or intoxicated if the Chiefs play on Sunday against the Baltimore Ravens for the AFC Championship and the Chiefs bring home another Lamar Hunt trophy. We'll do the show, but I may be a little.
He's not doing the show, guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
No, I'll be here next week. Next Saturday will be the Royal Rumble. Obviously, we'll have a lot to talk about with that. So definitely come check us out. Mark, tell us. I know you were mentioning something before we went live, man.
I do. So I'm actually starting my own show because Chase sucks and I don't like the Chiefs. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm starting a show which is strictly just on WWE. Literally WWE is something that my friend and I always grow up. So it's called Smack Talk Wrestling Podcast. It's more of a podcast. We'll be filming the podcast and we don't have to see the Chiefs hoodie anymore. But that will be debuting Royal Rumble weekend next weekend. So go ahead and check that out. Smack Talk Wrestling Podcast, episode 1 next week. Love that pancake. Fucking
I know.
Oh my God.
My wife got it for me.
It's amazing. But yeah, I got the Smack Talk Wrestling Podcast debuting next weekend with my boy Gonzo. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you guys follow us on all social media platforms. Anything you think of, we are on Pro Wrestling Kingpin for him. Pro Wrestling Kingpin for myself. So yeah, give us a look next week. We'll do a deeper dive into WWE.
Fantastic. Now, really quick, Jake says the Chiefs are going to have a hard time with the Ravens. I'm pretty sure everybody said that about the Bills. So suck it, bitch. What does Chase have going on
with the Bills though?
Well, I mean, like everybody was like, "Oh, they're going to hard."
It wasn't a blowout. I mean,
no, of course not.
50-1.
No, they won. A win is a win, baby. So I have 2 businesses I'm working on. That doesn't pertain to anything about this content creation thing. But what I am going to tell you guys is that I have finally been able to balance life. So there will be a lot more of CR Media going in. That was my goal that is my goal for 2024 is to continue with the goals that I had in 2023, which was getting the CR Media thing off the ground. It starts right here with this show. Like I said, we will be back next week. You guys have seen Sports Empire Network. A lot of you guys that I see in the chat, I see you with Sports Empire Network showing love, and I appreciate that. With Sports Empire Network, we will do like post pay-per-view shows. So next week, right after Royal Rumble, we are doing a post-Royal Rumble show. We will also I still will continue to do the I-70 hot tag, but there will also be a lot more content stuff coming through. So just stay tuned, man. If you guys haven't already, make sure Stream Elements is still doing its job there, putting the link tree in the chat. Make sure you guys are checking that out. Other than that, man, if you guys are in the Kansas City or Midwest area, I am starting an independent wrestling promotion called Fountain City Pro based out of Kansas City. Our first show will run March 8th. Tickets are officially on sale right now. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys go look that up on social media. Give it a follow. Any support in any way, shape, or form would be greatly appreciated. And then also, I'll hook you guys up with the video library when we start, posting shows. Other than that, Mark, I don't have anything else, man.
That's it, man. Close us out, homies.
One last time. Roman is not keeping it for 2,600 days, right?
If you say so.
That's 1,400 more days.
Did you think we're going to get 1,400 days now?
You're right. We're going to end the show before, because the devil has mysterious ways, and I'm not agreeing with you. But you're making a lot of sense. But I'm not going to agree with you. Ladies and gentlemen, for my partner, my friend, Mark, the Pro Wrestling Kingpin, for myself, Chase CR Media, we appreciate you guys joining us for the Season 2 premiere of Bad Booking. As always, have a fantastic night, guys.